feeling tired and upset is okay, but hitting mommy is not okay. What you can do this or that, and you can remove her from your leg, and you know what I mean, like all feelings are okay, but hitting, kicking, pushing, that's not okay. When we feel upset, we can do that. We can go to the special chair, we can breathe, we can, but we can't hit mommy.
But I think that's helpful, actually, figuring out, we don't have a chair or anything like that, so I think
And then more sleep.
I mean, it's hard to keep it sick, but sometimes, yeah.
So be respectful with the situations. If you need to change the routine for them to sleep longer, not easy.
Getting up at night.
Okay, so we go
Thank
through
you.
the limit and what is the clock there? So if you talk a little bit about the limits.
I'm going to talk a little bit about consequences. And so we talk about consequences. There's a difference between consequences and punishment. Natural consequences, what's an example of a natural consequence? Natural consequence would be if I forget to pack my lunch, I'm going to be hungry. And I'm going to probably have to spend money and get something from outside. I'm going to have to take time. So those are natural consequences. Natural consequences, your child refuses to put on a jacket. The natural consequence is going to be they're going to get cold. Exactly. And natural consequences can work a lot of the times, but for a 2, 3, 4-year-old, obviously, we don't want them to suffer the natural consequences of being out in the middle of the street when they're not supposed to be, right? Because, you know, it's just not safe. So there's natural consequences that we all experience as adults, right? So if I'm not prepared at work, then the natural consequences, you know, Joanne's gonna be upset, or, you know,
I'm gonna feel
whatever.
terrible.
I'm gonna feel horrible. Exactly, excuse me. So natural consequences, and then we talk about logical consequences. So I don't know, some of us have probably have grown up in families where there was punishment. Like if you don't eat your dinner, you're not going to be able to watch TV, you know, punishment. The difference between, well, punishment obviously is punitive, it's negative. Consequence is something that we want them to learn. So we always want them to learn from the situation. And we always want the consequences to be relevant. So if I take away TV because you didn't eat dinner, what does that have to do with anything? There's no connection there. So anytime you come up with a consequence, you want it to be relevant. You want it to be respectful too, because we don't want to shame the kids. That's not the point. The point is to teach them to grow into being awesome human beings. And shaming people, that's not the effect that we get. So look for consequences that are relevant and we were talking about earlier, that are timely and respectful. So natural consequences we're not always going to be able to use, but we can come up with logical consequences, and this is something that we keep practicing. We are not perfect by any means. I have so many.
It's really hard.
Sometimes Monica and we just laugh because I have many examples just in the last week of how my consequences here as ed director were not really effective, and they didn't really give the outcome that I wanted them to.
There. We were not respectful with your time. You can say it, child. Finish. Let's leave the park. Stop reading. Stop playing. You didn't stop. You hear me? But you didn't. But if I will,
You didn't give us the advance.
you have
warning.
more. Yeah, you have 2 more minutes. In 2 minutes.
5 minutes.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
2 minutes. Right? It's over in 2 minutes. The situation will be So be respectful with the time. It's really important. That's another, will be a great like meeting. Just talk about how they are at this age.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be.
And
There's a big
even-
difference
yeah.
between 2 and 3 and 4 and then 5.
By telling her, okay, you're gonna be hungry.
Sometimes yes, the feeling and the way you put the consequence is the difference. Sometimes not. So for me, the key is what the child is feeling. It's a lot of the key. Like now, you're gonna be cold. You know, because you didn't want to put your coat. Like, wow, really? You don't want to put it? Okay, you're gonna be cold. Okay, let's go. Let me know if you want to put it on. I have it here. Okay. Decide, mommy. You decide that your situation, you respect your situation needs. She needs to wear the coat. She needs to wear
Or she
the
can
coat.
carry it.
Or she can carry it.
Oh, okay.
Decide,
Probably might.
okay.
Okay, you slap your coat if you
Okay.
don't want to put it on. Okay,
Yeah.
but I don't carry
The
it.
options are wear it or carry it.
Firm
Now you're gonna
and
lose
kind. So firm because you respect the situation, and kind because you respect her humanity, and you don't want to. Yeah, always kind. But so you have two options. You can put it on or hold it yourself.
Okay.
I don't know. Sorry, I'm talking too much.
I interrupted. You wanted to talk about the
I think you
dinner
wanted
thing,
to talk about
right? Yeah, sorry.
the dinner. So, what was it that I gave the example when they don't eat dinner?
You don't
right?
get to watch TV. You said.
Can you, what was
Right,
the
okay.
actual, I think we all got different.
No, it
No, this wasn't even one that we.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Curveball.
Sorry.
Yeah, actually,
Got it.
the
Thank
copies
you.
that I gave you, the scenarios are all the same. Bye, thanks. Yeah, the copies that I gave you, they're all the same, but I think they wanted to go back to the one that the example that I gave earlier. If you don't finish your dinner, you can't watch TV, and how that's not even related. There's no connection. So what would we do?
You can't have dessert or something sweet after. If
Okay.
it's a little bit more related than
Okay.
television.
If you don't have the
Come on.
consequence,
It's okay.
don't say anything. Don't put the consequence that day. Do whatever you want to do. Save the day, whatever. But if you say something, mean it.
Right. and
There
we've
is
been-
sense where you say, Pilar, no, okay, so you want, but I'm hungry! Okay, here you have.
But what if we've done that? We've, so
Because
that's the
then,
position we're in. We've
It's not
done
like you
that.
won, you lose. It's like then, what you say,
Doesn't
mean anything.
I know, but I think so. In our we've lost.
So with my child, knock on wood, I don't have, I never had trouble getting him to eat anything. But sometimes he didn't want to eat at the time. And so I explained to him, and he was a little bit older than 4, and I would explain to him that I serve dinner once in an evening. It's only once. This is not cafeteria, this is not buffet. So if you're choosing not to eat at this time, then you'll have to serve yourself later or at whatever time. So knowing that's the consequence, then that might change his behavior. Like, do I want to bother later, or do I want to take advantage of, the opportunity now? So, they're just different options, but I think the most important thing is for the child to know in advance what the consequence is going to be, and then for you to follow through with it. So instead of just, oh, fine, and then I end up ordering him a pizza at night. No.
yes, sorry.
Yeah.
I was writing here, yes, please. Nobody talked about the iceberg. Why? Maybe
We
you
did. In this group earlier,
Oh, okay.
we did.
But now, maybe, we're with them 2 hours a day. And it's just like
Yeah.
controlling. And why don't you make her decide about the menu? Or cook?
Together.
Together.
helps so much.
Cook for the sibling, cook for why? Okay, so these are the things that we have to eat. We have to eat this amount of vegetables, this amount of meat. Choose your menu. And you can write and draw and make it beautiful. Participate. If they participate, much better.
Yeah.
I have to run.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
The think we all have to run, right?
Yeah, we have to run, but we want to know just one last thing, like what else you are interested, or the things that we talk about today, because we maybe thought maybe do something like this, or maybe do like sharing. Because, for example, today we talk about how to teach them express feelings, because that's a huge thing. Imagine we could talk about that, and maybe we can bring some theory a little bit, and then you share how you do it, things like that, more relaxed with little groups. I don't know. What are the things that you are interested in?
Cognitive capacity.
Yeah, like what's developmentally appropriate for
Okay,
the
so
different ages?
before you leave, you can.